Alright, welcome to this video. Greetings to each and everyone. Welcome to this video on how to determine your first buying amount in the futures market. How to determine your first buying amount in the futures market. Firstly, we are going in the futures market. We're using RoyalQ. Launch your RoyalQ application. Firstly, launch your RoyalQ application. Here it is. Go to the futures market. Identify the signal you've been given, probably from WhatsApp or Telegram. Let's look at what signals we have here. Straight away we go to the signals we have. I'll bring you close to the signals. All right, signals are here. Now these are some of the signals. Now you have identified the signal. The signal is called the epic. We have epic. We have epic. We also have another one here. Epic. For instance, we have epic. Epic. Now, how are you going to determine the first buying amount for epic? Now, this time you're going to come to your RoyalQ. Go to your RoyalQ and search for epic. Epic is here. There's a shortcut for how you could do this, but in the meantime, we can use this shortcut here. Open your shortcut. Open your shortcut. When you open a shortcut, you're going to if you're a first timer in trading, you're going to realize that you'll have this. You'll have this provision here. You'll have this provision, the futures martingale, and of course the spot martingale. Now, for most of you, you're going to realize that you're already trading the spot. Spot. You open here, you'll have the spot here. Spot. Now, my emphasis is on the futures. Make sure your account is aligned with the futures martingale. Good. Now, you are going to look up for this coin. The coin is called Epic. So you are going to click create. How to identify. Remember, we're going to set up this signal. You're going to find this create here. You can use that. Create. If you don't have any strategy, most of you who are new to futures, you don't have a strategy. If you don't have a strategy, you're going to find some word here that says create board. The word says create board. But because this account has a strategy, this is one of the strategies that are running, or trades are running. So you're going to find create board or create strategy here, or create. Now let's click to create. When you reach here, most people get confused. Favorite simply means the coin that you've been trading or you've opened previously. Then all means all the coins that have not been traded properly. Now going to click all. Now look up for this coin. The token is called Epic. Epic. So this is the token for you. It's called Epic. Epic perpetual. Epic USDT perpetual. This is signal. It's called Epic USDT. That pair is called Epic USDT. Now tap into the signal. Tap into the token. Choose which direction. What direction have we been instructed to use? Is it they have told us to short the market? Short simply means going down. See this? Predict whether the market will go down. If it goes in your favor, then you take a profit of 1%. That is leverage XYZ. XYZ, it is just the unknown. I'm telling you, the leverage is unknown because they have given you leverage. RoyalQ's leverage is maximum leverage is 20x, but the instruction says use between 5x to 10x. So that's why I have made it an unknown figure. X, I call it XYZ. Are we together? Now, depending on the leverage you want to use. In this case, we're going to use 10. I normally use 10. Now, depending on what you're going to use, depending on what your direction is simple. they have asked us to short. Make sure it is bluish, light bluish. You see this? It is, make sure it is light bluish. Now, like here, now that simply means we are shorting. When you see it's whitish, when you see, make sure it is whitish like here. When it's bluish, light bluish, meaning it's in a different direction. So make sure this thing is whitish here. The short has to be whitish. If you're shorting, if you're longing, it will be whitish. Are we together? So make sure if you're shorting in the market, this has to be whitish. All right, we proceed because I've told us to follow that direction. Now, of course, so many of you know what, from your spot knowledge, we come to trade settings. Trade settings. Now, here is a problem. Usually, you have what you call, you come to manual create. You see this manual create? Manual create here. Now, and the biggest challenge is how to determine the first buying amount. Now, this is going to be dependent on how much capital you're willing to fix into this trade or to allocate to this trade, allot to this trade. How much capital you're going to allocate or allot to this trade, assign to this trade, or open this position with. Are we together? Now, they're telling us, of course, this trade, I have opened the positions with this trade earlier. That's why you see it is this. But when you open it for the very first time, you realize they will tell you, they will give you a figure, which is what they'll give you a figure of the first buying amount. Usually it is about maybe one. It is usually first. It's usually about $5. The first buying amount, it is natural. Loyalty gives you a natural first buying amount. Usually it is $5. That simply means that is 3 epic. 3 epic. Now, depending on how much I want to use, if I've already realized that my first buying amount is the first buying amount is supposed to be 5.5, because usually all the first buying amounts of all these trades in Royal Q, they start with 5 USDT, which is here. How do I ascertain it is 5? How many epics are in 5 USDT? There are only 3. Now, suppose I have $100 and I want to use 20% of my capital, which is $20 as first buying amount. I'll of course have $8 for my first buying amount. Now in this case, I'm going to say what is 20 USDT, because that is going to be my first buying amount. 20 USDT. Let me look at 10 epic. You see, 10 epic are giving me 18 USDT. Now, I want to use 20 USDT in the first buying amount. Now, I'll increase. Let me put it at 20 epic. 20 epic are giving me 36. Still, we are not there yet. Now, I'm going to use 100 epic. Now, 100 epic are giving me 184 USDT. I'm going to make it to 150, 120 epic. Okay, 110 epic. Now, 110 epic is giving me 200 USDT. Now, the amount of USDT they have given us, it is 203.423. We come to my calculator. Amount of USDT is 203.4. Let's first. It is 203.423. Now, we're going to get that figure and divide it by 10 leverage. 10x. Where do we get the 10? It is the leverage. We're going to use. It's the leverage we are going to use. Therefore, that simply means that I'm going to start with 20 USDT. I've told you how I've had this question severally. How much is my first buying amount? How much is this? Now, for starters, realize we make profits using our profits usually come from what we call a quantity of the token you are trading. Then also usually we may also look at quantity comes from first buying amount and of course margin calls. Now, the other parameter is, the other variable we may look at what simply contributes to our profits. It is the amount of capital we have employed. The other could be timing, volume in the market and what have you. Then the other could be how swift you are to place trades, open up for new positions. Then the leverage matters. Every leverage can get you liquidated, even if it's 1x, 20x, 30x. But the more leverage you open up with a trade, the more chances of getting liquidated. Please, even ROIC does not allow you to exceed the 20x. Are we together? So, putting those variables aside, now you have ascertained that you'll need 20 USDT now, 20.3 USDT as first buying amount. Remember, you have your 79 USDT, 79 or even 80 USDT. Let's consider it to be 80 USDT left for margin calls. Make sure your margin calls are four margin calls and in a warehouse position, warehouse strategy. So you come and fix your, remember our leverage is here. Colleagues, don't forget, we have the leverage, which is 10x. I usually use 10x. Maximum is 20 with ROIC, but maximum for some in the exchange, about some exchanges offer 500, 250, whatever, 100, and others. However, make sure. And then, what's this leverage? For starters, what is this leverage? They're telling us now. The leverage simply means that you are going to use. You're going to use an extra 10 times. 10 times in money. You're going to predict a direction of the market. When you win in a certain direction, you're going to be paid 10 times. Because they've given you capital more. They've given you another set of capital 10 times that they have given with your $20 as first banner. Now they have multiplied this 10 times. Do you understand? That's why we are showing you $200, yet you have invested 20. Actually 20. Are we making sense? Are we making sense, colleagues? Now that is that. That is that. So meaning when you wrongly predict the election, when your belief is wrong, you show the market and the market goes against your direction, you lose the 20 USDT. In the name of liquidation, you lose it. Liquidate, and this is real. We have already told you that. Don't come to futures if you are weak. You're weak-hearted. You're weak-hearted. Meaning you fear to lose, because if you fear to lose your money, please stay in sport. Here we totally lose money. You can lose $1,000 in just a blink of an eye. But there is a great opportunity to make a lot of money. So having said that, come and save up your trade. Come and save up your trade. Our trade is saving up. Trade is saving up. Right. Our trade is saving up. And make sure when it buys like this, when it buys like this, you can easily, if you want to buy margin calls, you can try. You can try to do what? You can try to change the first buying amount if you have maybe to 4 margin calls, or maybe you can decide to use this 20. Those are 4 margin calls. That is 80 gone. $80 gone. And this is also talk about the all position take profit ratio, the TP. The TP is leveraged. Then you're going to work now 1% simply, that is 10%. That is 10%. That is 10%. Are we there? 1% times 1 times the extra 10, that is 10%. So that's how you can set it up your trade, save your trades. Maybe probably there's a challenge with my network. So that is that for now. See you in the next video. Please like, comment, and follow, and subscribe to this YouTube channel. Bye-bye.